What up, guys? Adrian here. We're back for another brute shoot. Today I'm going to talk about the overuse of elbows up. Hey, get your elbows up. Nice job, but get your elbows up. Hey, you in the back, elbows up, elbows up. Like, what's that mean? Clearly, you're trying to help your athletes out. And specifically today, I'm talking about a movement where we're front rack loading the athlete. So in reference to a front squat, for example, elbows up can be a great cue. But ultimately, what are we trying to get them to do? We're trying to get them to improve their front rack position so that they might have the potential to execute the front squat with more efficiency and greater leverage, right? So we can't simply use this cue over and over and over again and expect it to get some kind of result. If you guys have experienced this for yourselves, you know exactly what I'm talking about, where someone might be watching you squat and they're like, oh man, he's dropping his elbows or she is dropping her elbows. Get your elbows up, Tim. Get your elbows up, Lisa. Right? And what does that do? How do you respond? You fight to get your elbows up. But really, does it change much of the true position or the effect that the front squat is having on your body, under duress, in the middle of that strength set, or in the middle of that workout? It might save you to hang on for a few more reps or get you that one more rep in your strength set. By all means, it's great. But is it going to make true change? It's not. Right? So ultimately, we want to help our athletes understand that it is a position game, it is a leverage game. So what can we do to help them going forward? One thing that I want to point out clearly is that it's not always about the elbows, right? We can do a lot of work to someone's thoracic spine, their mid-back position, and where they're actually engaging and bringing together their shoulder blades in the back, right? External rotation is something we talk often about in regards to the overhead squat. The same goal is what we're trying to create even in our front squat position, where we externally rotate our shoulder joint and we try to almost like bring our scapula together in the back as we lift our elbows high. That's one thing, right? Think and look about position in the mid-back and what that actually looks like before those guys are unracking the bar. Another thing is literally torso position. We all know and have seen enough, hopefully you coaches out there, that the more upright an athlete can be, the easier this is for them. Heck, that's why everyone goes and grabs Olympic weightlifting shoes, right? So in order to train this or properly make progress for this position for athletes, we need to help them understand that in their squat, the way to get their shoulders or torso more upright is to allow their hips to settle on top of their heels versus far or dramatically behind. In the level one, we talk a lot about the squat, the air squat, the front squat, and the overhead squat are clearly what we focus on the most. But we talk a lot about the immature squat, right? And that's a common fault where the athlete cantilevers forward, their shoulders tend to dive forward, they keep a flat back, but then their hips end up way behind the heels, right? This is going to be punishing for the front squat and overhead squat. So how do we progress that? We talk about squat therapy. That is a great drill. You guys can reference CrossFit.com to check out some different drills in what squat therapy encompasses and different variations of it. I'm going to tell you guys a few things mobility-wise that you can work on is foot positioning and ankle mobility. Right? The more distance that we can allow the knee to travel forward over the toes as we squat down, especially for longer limbed athletes, the more success they'll have with an upright torso. The next thing that we have to address is, are their knees able to track the toes, right? Are they caving inward, which then is going to allow them or cause them to roll forward through their mid-back as they start to descend? So also take a look at their basic squat mechanics, maybe instead of just from the side, also from the front view. I want to encourage you guys to have your athletes do more with no shoes at all. So what I mean by that is, and you guys can reference even Active Life or a Performance Care for this stuff. These guys do a lot about posting on their social media with accumulating 30 minutes in the bottom of your squat with no magic shoes on, no Ollie shoes. It could either be barefoot or in a pair of tennis shoes. Get your classes to spend maybe 2 to 3 minutes in the bottom of their squat, literally bottomed out, knees tracking the toes in whatever position that might look like. But this is going to help to buy them range of motion in their hips, their knees, and their ankles that will then play a factor into that front squat. So am I telling you to stop saying get your elbows up all together or chest high or elbows up? Like those aren't terrible cues. But you have to understand that we have to empower our athletes in a teaching setting, in the warm-ups, in the cool-downs, maybe in those one-on-one sessions or your on-ramp sessions that hopefully you guys are out there offering in your gym, to really educate them on what we're trying to get out of the elbows up cue and what we can further do to really help that torso position ultimately. So while you guys are out there, don't just aimlessly be yelling cues and hope that it's going to help make a long-term effect on the athlete's movement. Educate them and give them some tools to move forward.